Okay. Yes. Okay. I will just get the code for us now. Okay. Okay, there's your code. So if you could kindly log in and pop your name up. That's a very strange spelling of a name there. Oh, almost up. I think just get 2 to go, possibly. Yeah. Yeah, just waiting on 2 to come in. Oh. Who is this? Right. So still waiting for one more, just one more to come in. Don't know who it is. Right, there we go. Okay, off we go. Okay, so starting off with a true or false. Ballads use figurative language to show the action. True or false? 50-50 chance. One to go. Am I going to get one in? Ooh, one person didn't answer. So well done. 11 spot on. Yeah, okay. Oh, no wise raccoon on the top 5 at the moment, yeah. But it's good to see President Obama has joined us for this lesson. Right, so ballads, they recount tragic, comic, or heroic stories with an emphasis on one dramatic event. Is this true or false? Oh, very quickly again. Only 11 in this time. So we get 9 spot on. I'm done. Okay, Joe Serena, followed by Jeff Serena, followed by Mara, and then Jim Serena, and then Clara. Well done. Right. Now, ballads, they usually consist of how many lines in a stanza? How many lines normally? Okay, so only 3 this time, plumped for the right answer of 4. Okay. Quite a few of you went for 6. One went for 3, and 3 went for 5. And that was everybody this time, with everybody in the game. Well, hey. Oh, Mara and Clara, 2 top positions. Oh, and number 5, look who's snuck in. The wise raccoon. Right. What kind of figurative language is this? The wind was a torrent of darkness. Which is it? Onomatopoeia, alliteration, simile, or metaphor? Only 12 this time. Right, and 7, you got it right. It's a metaphor. Yes. 2 images been blended together there. Okay. So, how's that affected our leaderboard? Ooh. Who is I wasn't in?
Me, Evan. I wasn't in when you started it, but I remembered the code and it let me in.
All right, late to the party. Okay, so we've got Wise Raccoon now romped up to 3rd place. Joe Serena and Jeff Serena, 1 and 2. Mara still on 4. Right. Multi-select this time, so more points up, double the points. Right. You have to guess this one. So the Highwayman, it's a ballad, just going by the title. What do you think it's all about? It's going to be the first one we look at. Some of you might know it. Might have done it in primary school. Is it about tragic love, friendship, a ghostly apparition, crime and punishment?
So I should have just selected them all.
You could if you wanted. It's multi-select, isn't it?
I know, but then I could have got them all right.
Only 2 were right. Tragic love and a ghostly.
I tried putting them all.
Yeah. You know, it's one way of doing it when it's multi-select. Yeah. Oh, that didn't do too much to the leaderboard, did it? Right. Number 6. So, what kind, again, of figurative language is this? The hours crawled by like years. Metaphor, hyperbole, alliteration, or simile?
I put the wrong one.
Are you sure it's the wrong one? Wait for the big reveal.
Sir, it could be 2 of them.
No, it couldn't.
It could also be hyperbole because it's over-exaggeration.
No. It's a simile. Why is it a simile?
It has like.
That's the one. It's got like, yeah, you know, like or as. It makes it a simile. Okay. Did you put the wrong answer down?
No.
Again, I'm not sure. Was it Mia who said, "Oh, put the wrong one down"? Was that you, Mia?
Daisy.
No, Daisy.
Daisy. Daisy, did you put the wrong one down?
No.
That I don't know whether to be more delighted at the fact that you've got it right or the fact that you didn't realise you got it right. Did you think it was hyperbole then, Daisy?
Yeah, but I thought it was simile at first, so I put simile. Then I thought maybe it could be hyperbole.
See, always go with your.
Yeah, I was stuck between the 2, but then I thought because it says like, just go.
Well done. See, that was the giveaway. Ooh, right. So we've got Wise Raccoon 2nd spot. I wasn't in 3rd spot. Jeff Serena and Bob Serena. The Serenas are dominating the board again. Right. Halfway through. So to convey a sense of emotional urgency, ballads are written in what type of structure? Octaves, septet, couplets, or quatrains. So that's 8 lines, 7 lines, 2 lines, 4 lines. Oh, well done. 5 of you went for the right one. The quatrains, written in 4s. Yes. So many went 5, 2, 4, 6. That is again 11 there with answers. Okay. So, Mara and Clara back in there. Knocked a couple of our Serenas off the board in the top 5. Number 8, ballads. They use what kind of a rhyme scheme? Okay, rhyme scheme is how you work it out at the end of a line. Is it A, B, B, A, A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, A, B, sorry, or A, B, D, D? Which one do you think? Ooh, 6 guesses are correct. A, B, C, B. Okay, ooh, Wise Raccoon in the 2nd spot there. But the top 5 remain the same. Okay, so again, what type of figurative language is this? Dumb as a dog, he listened. Personification, simile, alliteration, metaphor. Which one? Yeah, back to our simile again. The as this time rather than like. Okay, good, good, good. 6 correct. Wise Raccoon drops out of place. Evan, ooh, nips up 1. Clara's dropped out the top 5, but we've still got Mara. Okay. So, now, ballads. What kind of poetry are ballads? Okay. Narrative, haiku, lyrical, or sonnet. Name your style of poem. Yeah. And, you know, we did name the sort of tab as well. I put into the OneNote as Ballads and Narrative Poetry. Okay. So there we have got 5 winners in that one. 5 plumped for the right answer. Ooh, right. Okay, not any change in the top 5 there. Right. So a common feature of ballads is what? 10-line stanzas, formal language, persuasive techniques, or repetition. What's a common feature? Okay, so this time 8 answers, and well done for you. Yeah, repetition. As we will see, very common to have repetition. Okay. Oh, Joe Serena. Oh, it is looking like Joe Serena, unless something very weird happens. Joe Serena could well be the winner here. All to play for in the other, you know, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th spots at the moment. Right. What type of figurative language is this? Over the cobbles, he clattered and clashed. Alliteration, personification, metaphor, simile. Which one is it?
Mine's just spinning round on go.
Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, alliteration, yeah. Cobbles, clattered, clashed. Yeah. Ooh. So another Serena comes back in, knocking Mara off there. Right. 2nd last question. A typical ballad tells a story, true or false? 50-50 chance.
I didn't notice there was the wrong way round.
Yeah, me too.
Oh no. That's true. Yeah. Oh, Evan, you've dropped down to 2nd. Oh, and Mara.
I didn't notice it was the wrong way round as well.
Oh no. Right. Last question. Da, da, da. What is a refrain? Okay. What is a refrain? Is it a phrase repeated in poems, a haiku, a stanza with 2 lines, word with rain in it? Boom, boom. Oh, I think some of you might have been struggling to get your answers in there. Right. Final scores. Let's see. What I'm in 3rd spot. Evan. Well done. 9 out of 14. 2nd spot is our Wise Raccoon. 1st spot. It is. Surprise, surprise, Joe Serena. With 12 out of 14. Very good. And in 4th and 5th, well done, Mara and Jeff Serena. Very well done. Who is Joe Serena? Joe Serena again, remind me.
Mia.
Mia. Well done, Mia. There we go. Excellent. So some good good knowledge there. Right. Okay. So I'm going to leave. Yeah. And back we shall go now. Once I get my screen sorted. Whoops. And that's what I want to do, isn't it? That one. Yeah. So boom. Okay, so we're going to back on the actual OneNote now, please. So what we're going to be looking at today is a ballad. Any of you done the poem The Highwayman before? If you just do a quick show of hands in the room, because again, it's such a well-known sort of ballad. It gets covered quite often. Yeah, primary in year 6. So that's one hand going up. Yeah, who's that?
I think I have.
That's Isla. Yeah, yeah.
I think I've heard you vaguely of it.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I say it's one of the sort of most well-known sort of ballads knocking around, and it's one that people tend to start off with, just because it's so sort of popular. Okay, right now, let me get my note back up. Okay, so what I think would be quite nice to do now would be to hear some of you reading a verse at a time. I think that'd be very nice. So, Evan, are you there, Evan?
Hello. Yes.
Hello, Evan. Evan, could I ask you, so I'll just draw a lot of lines so you know exactly where to go to. I would like you, Evan, to do the first verse for us, please, which ends there. So just up to the old inn door. If you could read that verse, please, Evan. Okay, in a little minute. Then Isla, could you do the second verse for me, please? Up to under the jeweled sky. So I just pop names in there. So that's Isla. Is Evan. Then last on that page there, could I have Matteo, please? Could you do next one, that over the cobbles he clattered and clashed down to the long black hair? Then over here, could I have Janet next, please? Yeah, for that, and dark in the dark inn yard, down to, and he heard the robber say. If you could do that one for me, please. Then, Aaron, if you could do One Kiss My Bonnie Sweetheart. And then, whoops, last one there. If I could have Shan to read He Rose Upright in the Stirrups. That takes us to the end of the first 2 pages. Then, moving on, we will have...
So, where's my bit? I can't find it. Aaron, where's Aaron's bit?
Here, One Kiss My Bonnie.
Oh, right. Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Then, He Did Not Come in the Dawning at the beginning of part 2. Could I have... Who will I ask for that one? Let's just see what we've done. Evan, Isla, Janet, Aaron, Sean. Mia, could you read that verse for us, please, at the beginning of part 2?
Yeah.
He did not come in the dawning, did not come at noon. And then next up, Clara, could I ask you, please, for that one? Oops. They said no word to the landlord. Then, yeah, I'll take the next one. Okay, that'll be me. Oh, yeah. Then, next up, before I forget, oops. Ooh. Right. Daisy, could you do the, she twisted her hands behind her, but all the knots held good. Okay? Right, and then I'll deal with the rest to the end, I think. That should do us quite nicely. We'll stop as we go along just to make sure that everybody's following things, okay? So we'll certainly do, what we'll do, I think, first of all, is have the first 2 pages and then have a little bit of a discussion about it. So, Evan, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Ready. Isla, are you ready?
No.
Tough luck. Matteo, are you ready?
I guess.
Janet, are you ready? Janet, are you there? Oh, we get dodgy Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Ah, you are. Right, you're ready. Okay. Aaron, are you ready?
Yep.
Good man. And Shan, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. Here is part 1 of The Highwayman by Alfred Noyes. Evan.
The wind was a torrent of darkness among the gusty trees. The moon was a ghostly galleon tossed upon the cloudy seas. The road was a ribbon of moonlight over the purple moor, and the highwayman came riding. The highwayman came riding up to the old inn door.
Beautifully read. Isla.
He'd a French cook hat on his forehead, a bunch of lace on his chin, a coat with carrot velvet, and breeches of brown doe skin. They fitted with never a wrinkle. His boots were up to the thigh, and rolled with a jewel twinkle. His pistol butts a twinkle, and I can't read it because it's all like.
That's rapier. His rapier held a twinkle.
Under the jeweled sky.
Beautiful. Matteo.
Hello. Over the cobbles he clattered and clashed. Isn't that clashed?
That is, yeah.
In the dark inn yard, and he tapped with his whip on the shutters, but all was locked and barred. He whistled a tune to the window, and who should be waiting there but the landlord's black-eyed daughter, Beth, the landlord's daughter, plaiting a dark red love knot into her long black hair.
Beautiful, thank you. Janet.
And dark in the dark old inn yard, a stable wicket creaked where Tim the ostler listened. His face was white and peaked, his eyes were hollows of madness, his hair like mouldy hay, but he loved the landlord's daughter. The landlord's red-lipped daughter, dumb as a dog, he listened and he heard the robber say.
Thank you. Aaron.
One kiss, my bonny sweetheart. I'm after a prize tonight, but I shall be back with the yellow gold before the morning light. Yet if they press me sharply and harry me through the day, then look for me by moonlight, watch for me by moonlight. I'll come to thee by moonlight, though hell should bar the way.
Thank you. Shan.
He rose upright in the stirrups. He scarce could reach her hand, but she loosened her hair, the casement. His face burned like a brand, as the black cascade of perfume came tumbling over his breast, and he kissed its waves in the moonlight. Oh, sweet black waves in the moonlight. Then he tugged at his rein in the moonlight and galloped away to the west.
Oh, beautifully read so far. That's very well done so far. So we'll just need to pause a little bit there. Now we're going to use the chat function just to get some ideas from you and some feedback. Okay, so I'm just going to pop up my head in here first of all. Isla, is it coming back to you? Is this one that you've before?
I think so.
Yeah.
It depends what happens next.
Yeah. You can't. That's good. You can't remember it as a cliffhanger at the moment. Right. Okay. So let me just reduce this a little. Whoops, not quite so much. Just want to reduce this a little bit. That's that. And then if I pull across here, go into the chat function. Okay. So, and if you respond with your answers, please, in the chat function to me as well, okay? Okay, so what I want, just from what we read so far, what's your reaction to this character of the Highwayman? What sort of character is he? What type of man is he coming across as? What can we tell about him just from how he's been written about so far in this ballad? Type your answers in, please. Thank you.
So, isn't a highwayman a thief?
He is indeed. He is indeed, Matteo. He's a criminal. Okay, just put down any ideas you've got. Oh,
I was thinking that because we don't have Highwayman today, so is it going to be?
don't we?
Don't we? Not on horseback though.
No, not on horseback. Yeah. Okay. Oh, Isla's put a rich man who needs to steal. Why'd you say that, Isla?
Because in the way that they put as that he's dressed, and he's riding a horse anyways, which is difficult to get.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, some good answers coming in. So, yeah. Thanks, Matteo. We'll have no yeehaws here, please. Can we stick to the task in hand, please? No comedy capers. So what else? I mean, if I can direct it, right. We think about, look at some of this. So, right. So look at how he's dressed. He's got a bunch of lace at his chin. He's got a coat of velvet claret and breeches of brown doeskin. What's doeskin? Anybody know what doeskin is?
Deerskin.
That is it. It's deerskin. Now he's got his pistol butts. They're all twinkling, and he's got a jeweled rapier. How is he coming across? The way he is dressed, what does that suggest about him?
Very rich.
Is it just that, or anything else? Does he take any care in the way that he dresses?
Yes.
Yeah. So what does he think about his appearance?
He wants it to be good.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Here, he definitely is a dandy highwayman here. Here is somebody who likes his clothes, doesn't he? It's all about the look. Is that something that you would expect? Because you've correctly identified, by trade, he's a thief. Is that how you'd expect a thief to behave? Would they be worried about how they looked?
Yes.
Yes, in case somebody saw their face and reported them.
No.
Well, yeah, no, but I mean, normally you're wanting to blend into the background, wouldn't you, as a thief, not be noticed? But here is somebody who, appearance is all and everything. Now, so we've touched upon little bits of that, but I mean, Nobody's mentioned anything about, because I'm asking, out of that, the first part here, what about, I mean, the Highwayman seems to have some attachment to Bess. What I've just popped it into the chat for you there now. What does that reveal? You know, that relationship that appears to be going on between the Highwayman and Bess, the landlord's daughter. What does that reveal? Yeah, I think he does visit her from time to time. Yes, yeah, I think he does.
So won't he have to be a bit careful? Because if he's a thief, he might be wanted. So have to be careful.
I think he most definitely is a wanted man. Someone's been a little bit. I mean, look here. Let's look what happens when he gets into the courtyard. Well, just down here, isn't it? So we've got over the cobbles he clattered and clashed in the darkened yard, and he tapped with his whip on the shutters, but all was locked and barred. He whistled a tune to the window, and who should be waiting there but the landlord's black-eyed daughter, Bess, the landlord's daughter, plaiting a dark red love knot into her long black hair. Now, what do you think? Do you think, is Bess pleased to see the Highwayman or not?
Yes.
So what does that suggest? I mean, Aaron, you read the line that he says to her, "One kiss, my bonny sweetheart." What is that suggesting about their relationship? We've all gone quiet. Are they just good friends, or are they something more?
It's romantic, sir.
Yes.
It is. Thank you for taking that plunge. Yes, he has. Yeah, he has a romantic love. Yes, he has a significant other. He is somebody who he is, in love with. It appears. Bess, the landlord's daughter. Hang on, we've got Isla, Evan, and two others writing something at the moment. Let's see what's going to pop up. If we can add that onto our thoughts on this Highwayman. Oh, very good, Matteo. Yes, he's risking her so much that he's going to risk his life. Yes, yeah, very good. Yeah. Okay, very good. Let's move on to another character. So the second character that we come across is obviously Bess. Okay, so what I want you to give me now from what we've got so far, what are your thoughts about Bess, the landlord's daughter? Any reaction to her? Any thoughts? I mean,
Kind of reminds me of Rapunzel for some reason.
I think because of the hair. Yeah. Pop your ideas into the chat again, because I put the question into the chat. So if you pop your ideas into the chat, but yeah, I'll take that one straight away, Mattia. I like that. Oh yes, Evan. She's deeply in love. How do you know she's deeply in love, Evan?
She has the deep red love letter in her black hair.
Yeah, the love note. Yes. Yeah, good. Oh, it's like she's trapped in her house. Yes. Yeah, and yeah. Again, he must be special. He's going to risk his life for her. Yes, good.
There.
Yeah.
And it also vice versa, because if they get caught,
Yeah.
yeah, she might get in trouble.
Well, yeah, because what is it? I mean, again, isn't it? You know, it is that idea. You know, he's a criminal. He's a highwayman, isn't it? And it's that sort of danger. So that might be part of the reason why she feels attracted to him. You know, looks one with like a bad boy sort of thing. He's not well behaved sort of thing. That idea. But yeah, good. Anything else that we can think about with Rapunzel here? Rapunzel, sorry. With Bess, the landlord's daughter.
She's a landlord's daughter, which, yeah, it's really risky as well. If
Yeah,
that important.
Yeah. Okay. And one more character that we can maybe discuss. Oh, hang on. I'll just wait to see what comes through here from Isla, Evan, and maybe two others.
I don't know why it says that I'm typing, because I'm not. So
Aren't you?
Why.
Well, somebody is. I'll just wait for it to come through. He thinks he looks great. Oh yeah, maybe he's using it. Oh, very good, Daisy. Right, so Daisy thinks maybe he's a bit of a player. And she might have a wealthy family. Yeah, because the father's a landlord. Yeah, we could go for that. Good.
Was the landlord rich?
Depends. Some of them, I mean, but it wouldn't be rich, not like nobility rich. But I mean, if you've got a good, obviously a landlord, it's just like pubs along sort of roads at that point, in the sort of time scale we're looking at here. So it's where people would stay for the night, drink and have a meal, that sort of thing. So I mean, yeah, they can make a decent living from it.
They could want her for her money anyway.
Yeah, could do. Yeah. So again, there is that. Still some typing going on. I'm just waiting for that to come through before we carry on.
Sir?
Yes.
If the highwayman is already rich, why does he need to steal more gold? Like stuff.
Well,
Why not?
Why do you think he might do it?
To get richer.
Yeah, maybe to get richer. Enough is never enough. Yeah.
To get land.
Well, he's not going to get land really, I suppose. Because what he's going to, when he robs people, isn't he? He's going to get money. He's going to get jewels, that sort of thing.
Does he break into people's houses and?
No. It's all. We're back in the time, where it would be the state. The highwayman would be somebody it would be on the road, and it's the coaches going from town to town, that sort of thing. And the highwayman would come out and he'd sort of go in front of the coach and have his pistols drawn, and that's where you get that phrase "stand and deliver." And so you would just have it that a coach has been held up, and the occupants within the coach would then have to, give up their money, their jewels, that sort of thing, or possibly be shot by him. That sort of thing. There's a few that are quite sort of famous from history, sort of thing. We get that. But yeah, we'll go at that. It might be as well that he does this as well. You say, why does he keep doing it? Maybe he's just doing it just for the kind of the thrill that he enjoys doing it, that sort of idea. Okay. So we've got one other character that gets introduced here, and that's Tim the Ostler boy. And here we have him, as Tim the ostler listened, his face was white and peaked, his eyes were hollows of madness, his hair was like mouldy hay. But he loved the landlord's daughter, the landlord's red-lipped daughter, and dumb as a dog he listened, and he heard the robber say. Now, with the detail that we're given there, what do we sort of learn about Tim the ostler? Oh, very good, Matteo, yeah. Now, yeah, so he is most definitely jealous, yeah. He's jealous of the highwayman, yeah. Just waiting for a few others. Yeah, he's also in love with her, yeah. Yeah, and he's not rich. Good. Yeah. And look how he is described as well. You know, his face is white and peaked, and his eyes were hollows of madness. What do you think could have driven him so mad? Why are his eyes a hollow of madness? What's been driven mad by?
Seeing the landlord's daughter with the
The
highwayman.
highwayman.
Yes, good. Yeah, so we're getting a real kind of story being told here, haven't we? So we've got this kind of love interest. Who at the moment do you think? Oh, good, I like that, Shan. I've just seen that one pop up. Yeah, it's that Highwayman has good looks and bad personality. Tim also has bad looks and good personality. Well, we shall see if that be true in the second half. Just do this by show of hands at the moment. If we're looking about for, you know, a hero within this narrative poem here, in this ballad, because all ballads will have heroes and they'll have villains, and they'll quite often have a love interest. Just by show of hands here, how many of us think that the highwayman is the hero of this ballad? Okay, so Evan's put his hand up. Anybody else think that the hero of the piece might be the highwayman? Okay, Mateo's written that he thinks Tim is the hero. How many of us think that Bess might be the hero or heroine within this ballad? Evan's gone his hand up again, but he's also got Will coming in support of him this time. Others not daring to sort of show their ideas yet, share their thoughts. Okay, right. Let us. Oh, Aaron, your hand went up. Yeah, good. Now, let's get it up to full screen again. Whoop. Now, what do we know? What we noticed so far about the language within this poem? Are there any techniques that you notice coming in here? We just look at the first couple of verses again. The wind was a torrent of darkness amongst the gusty trees. The moon was a ghostly galleon tossed upon cloudy seas. The road was a ribbon of moonlight over the purple moor, and the highwayman came riding. The highwayman came riding up to the old inn door. He had a French cocked hat on his forehead, a bunch of lace at his chin, a coat of claret velvet, and breeches of brown doe skin. They fitted with never a wrinkle. His boots were up to the thigh, and he rode with a jewelled twinkle. His pistol butts a twinkle, his rapier hilt a twinkle under the jewelled sky. Okay, so what are we getting there in those opening two verses? I mean, already Evan has said metaphor. Yeah, I agree with that. Can you give me an example of where the metaphor occurs, Evan? Give me a little quote.
The wind was a torrent of darkness.
Yeah, good. We've got that there. We've got the wind was a torrent of darkness. So we're getting metaphor, a lot of imagery going on there. What else have we got going on?
Repetition.
Repetition.
Yeah, we've got the repetition, riding. And again, we've got the was a. Deliberate just repetition there. Okay. Do we have any rhyme being used?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's
Yeah.
how does the rhyming pattern work in this?
A, B, C, B.
Yeah, good. Works that way, doesn't it? It fits in with that sort of ballad technique. Very, very good. Okay. Let us move on now to part two of and find out what happens next. Now, remember that I think it's Mateo thinks that Tim has got good intentions, even although he's been described in sort of negative terms. And so the highwayman, although he looks good and appears to have that sort of positive personality, actually what Mateo thinks is that there's a lot of negativity about him, sort of thing. So, Mia, are you ready for the next section?
Just about.
Just about. Okay, I will take that. That's very good. Clara, are you ready?
Yes.
Thank you, Clara. Thank you. I'm ready. Daisy, are you ready? Daisy, are you with us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Mia said in chat she can't hear you.
Oh, can't you hear Daisy?
No, not
I
Daisy,
can hear
Mia.
you.
All
Mia.
right. Well, we'll play this by ear then, see what happens.
So
Right.
Mia said she couldn't hear you.
All right. Okay. Right. So, the Highwayman Part 2. Take it away, Mia.
He did not come in. Set before the rising moon, when the road was a gypsy's ribbon. George's man came marching up to the old inn door.
Thank you. You dropped it a couple of times, but not to worry. You were in perfect sync. But I was reading it in my mind there, and you did it in perfect sync. So thank you for that. Clara, could you go next, please?
They said no word to the landlord.
That's it. Yeah.
They drank his ale instead,
Yeah.
but they gagged his daughter and bowed her to the foot of her narrow bed. Two of them knelt at her casement with muskets at their side. There was dead at every window, and held at one dark window, for Bess could see through her casements and the road that be would ride.
Yeah. Well done. Very well done there, Clara. They had tied her up to attention with many a sniggering jest. They had bound a musket beside her with the barrel beneath her breast. Now keep good watch, and they kissed her. She heard the dead man say, "Look for me by moonlight, watch for me by moonlight. I'll come to thee by moonlight, though hell should bar the way." Daisy, are you there?
They stretched and strained in the darkness, and the hours crawled by like years, till now on the stroke of midnight, cold on the stroke of midnight, the tip of one finger touched it. The trigger at least was hers.
Yeah, thank you. The tip of one finger touched it. She strove no more for the rest. Up she stood to attention, with the barrel beneath her breast. She would not risk their hearing. She would not strive again, for the road lay bare in the moonlight, blank and bare in the moonlight, and the blood in her veins in the moonlight throbbed to her love's refrain. Had they heard it? The horses' hoofs ringing clear in the distance. Were they deaf that they did not hear? Down the ribbon of moonlight, over the brow of the hill, the highwayman came riding, riding, riding. The redcoats looked to their priming. She stood up straight and still. In the frosty silence, in the echoing night, nearer he came and nearer. Her face was like a light. Her eyes grew wide for a moment. She drew one last deep breath. Then her fingers moved in the moonlight. Her musket shattered the moonlight, shattered her breast in the moonlight, and warned him with her death. He turned, he spurred to the west. He did not know who stood, bowed with her head over the musket, drenched with her own red blood. Not till the dawn he heard it. His face grew grey to hear how Bess, the landlord's daughter, the landlord's black-eyed daughter, had watched for her love in the moonlight and died in the darkness there. Back he spurred like a madman, shrieking a curse to the sky, with the white road smoking behind him and his rapier brandished high. Blood red were his spurs in the golden noon, wine red was his velvet coat, when he shot him down on the highway, down like a dog on the highway, and he lay in his blood on the highway, with a bunch of lace at his throat. And still, of a winter's night, they say, when the wind is in the trees, when the moon is a ghostly galleon, lost upon cloudy seas, When the road is a ribbon of moonlight over the purple moor, a highwayman comes riding. A highwayman comes riding up to the old inn door. Over the cobbles he clatters and clangs in the dark inn yard, and he taps with his whip at the shutters, but all is locked and barred. He whistles a tune to the window, and who should be waiting there but the landlord's black-eyed daughter, Bess, the landlord's daughter, plaiting a dark red love knot into her long black hair. There we go. That's it. There's to the end of it. So, question time again. So first up, we have. So again, I'm going to use chat for this. I'm just going to go back to that. Okay, so I want your thoughts. Okay, I want your thoughts now, and again, type it in for me, please, and I'll pop it onto the OneNote. What are your thoughts about the behaviour of the redcoat soldiers in this ballad here, and how they are being portrayed? Remember that soldiers, they should be upholding the law, doing, protecting everyone. Okay, just waiting for someone to come through. All right, so we've got evil from Matteo. Oh, good one from Will, yeah. Sly, yeah. Yeah, they're happy for Bess to die. Either way, yeah. Oh, like that, Mia. Yes, they are. They're arrogant. Yes, good. Some good ideas coming through here. Oh, yes, I like that. Yes, Matteo. Oops. I'm going to a new line. Yes, they are. They're malevolent. And again, that ties in with that idea of being evil, that sort of thing. Yeah. Oh, we're getting all the M words now. Malicious. Yes. Again, that's badly behaved, isn't it? Poorly behaved. Good, good, good. Good ideas coming through. Keep them coming. Yeah, they did. They get drunk, didn't they? Drunken louts and that sort of thing. Yes. Yeah, we'll take that. Good. What do you mean by that, Matteo? What do you mean by nefarious?
I looked on Thesaurus and it looked quite cool.
Right. So what does the word nefarious mean?
Bad, sinful.
Yeah, it does all those things as well. Yes. I wasn't expecting that in an answer. Yes. Oh, yes, they are ignorant, aren't they, Mia? Yeah. Yeah. Very good. Okay. And obviously, I want us to think about here. Why do you think the poet has chosen to portray him in this way? What they do, it is cruel, isn't it? Again, the king's men, they come up here and they gag her, they bind her, they tie the musket to her so that if she moves, that could go off and they'll die. And then, they've got a sniggering jest, so they're joking about her. It's all deliberate behaviour here. and it's not portraying them. So it portrays the king's men as being sort of out of control here, doesn't it? Good. Now, here's a question. And again, I'm just pop this to the chat. And I want you to think about because obviously somebody's given information to the soldiers here. Who do you think's tipped them off about, one, obviously the highwayman going to be coming back, and they've got to know about, well done.
Tim.
It's got to be, isn't it? Tim has gone there and he's told the soldiers, hasn't he? Matteo, do you still think the same about Tim now? You said that he... Shouty capitals from Evan, that foul boy Tim. What do you think of now, Matteo?
He's just so stupid. I don't like him.
No, it's a nasty thing that he's done, isn't it? But again, he's done it because of that, isn't it? He's acted out of that jealous rage. That's why he's done this, isn't it? Okay, very good. Just waiting. There's another thought coming through, I think. While we're doing that, why did he? Well, they did tell him, didn't he? But he's obviously clearly thought that this is one way to get the girl this way.
I would have told the soldiers to go and kill the highwayman, so then that he could have Belle for himself. That's what I would have done.
Yeah, well, but it's all kind of probably that idea. He's thought this, but it's just not worked quite right. Tim should dig a hole and jump into it and put this all back on himself. Thank you, Matteo. Very loud. Evan, do you want to take your capitals off? It just sounds like you're shouting all the time and very angry. He's too jealous.
It's supposed to be shouting.
He would tip off soldiers about his lover's love, and he didn't know that they would even kill her. Yeah, well, again, she kills herself, isn't it? So my next question is, what is your reaction to the sacrifice? And Bess does this. Bess sacrifices herself, doesn't she? You kindly asked, do you, Shan? Okay, I'm sure it's well intentioned. Yeah, what's your reaction then to, because Bess deliberately, doesn't she sacrifices herself so that she could warn the highwayman? What's your reaction to that?
That she really loves him.
Yeah, good. Yeah, she does, doesn't she? Yeah, she really loves the highwayman. Okay, good. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, true sign of loyalty there. Yeah. Yeah, good. Yeah, Evan. Yeah. Yes, just to see him in the afterlife. Yes, very good. Yeah.
So, doesn't he die?
He most certainly. Who died? The highwayman. Sorry.
The highwayman.
Yes, he does. Yeah, we'll come to that in a little minute. Yeah. So is that, and again, it's that. I think we're sort of really covering it here, aren't we? That idea about it's true love, and it's a sign of our loyalty to. Okay, Evan. It's that sort of true sign of loyalty to the highwayman as well. And then obviously it's. Thank you, Aaron. Yes, I quite agree. You need to chill, Evan. Okay, so then how do we react to the highwayman and what he does at the end? Okay. So yeah, so when he finds out, how do you think the highwayman's been portrayed by the poet then? When he returns in the morning, once he's learned, yeah, he's out for revenge, right? Good. Yeah, he's out for revenge. Okay, yeah, okay, so you're shocked that she does that, but upset too. Okay. Do we think, does the highwayman then, because I was asking you a bit earlier about who you see as being heroes within this ballad. By the end then, has the highwayman become a hero as well, do we think?
Well, Tim's definitely not the hero.
Tim is most definitely not the hero, Daisy. You're quite right. He'd be getting booed off the stage if it was on stage, wouldn't he?
Sir,
Yes.
couldn't the highwayman, like, he had a pistol, so why couldn't he, like, go into the house and kill the two people? He could have tried.
Well, he's just so, isn't he? I mean, again, he's just so driven by that. He's not thinking, is he? And again, he knows he's dead. So again, you can say, but it's this idea that he thinks his life is worthless too once Bess has died. So he's got nothing else to live for. So I mean, again, it's that idea, isn't it? Because he doesn't take his pistols out; he takes his rapier out. Oh, very good. I think get a couple now for Bess as being the hero. Okay, yeah. Yeah, and that idea. Thanks, Shan. Yeah, Dumbledore's the hero because he dies. Yeah. Wow. Well, that's a bit extreme. Can I just say? And being the owner of two dogs, I would never do that. Evan, behave. Right. Now, if you look at the end,
I have seen it though.
Yeah, the end. It is an echo of the beginning. Now, if we look at it, and I'm going to just take it from. Hang on, just so I can show you. Just going to take it from this verse here. What has changed about the description of the highwayman here? If we go back right to the very beginning, first, so we see that the Frenchman, the highwayman is described. He had a French cocked hat on his forehead, a bunch of lace at his chin, a coat of claret velvet, and breeches of brown doe skin. They fitted with never a wrinkle. His boots were up to the thigh, and he rode with a jewelled twinkle. His pistol butts a twinkle, his rapier hilt a twinkle under the jewelled sky. So that's his description there. Then at the end, he's returning. Look how we're getting maybe something similar, but different. Back he spurred like a madman, shrieking a curse to the sky, with the white road smoking behind him and his rapier brandished high. Blood red were his spurs in the golden noon, wine red was his velvet coat, when he shot him down on the highway, down like a dog in the highway, and he laid in his blood in the highway with a bunch of lace at his throat. Now, whoops.
Sir, how did she?
Hang on. I'm going to come to you in a minute because I've seen, and as people already said, she shoots herself, doesn't she? So the shot being fired out, that's the warning to the highwayman. He knows that there's somebody there, that there's danger. Now, what we think there, whoops. What's different about the Highwayman's description here in that verse that I just read to you at the end? How is it different from that description of him at the start of the poem? There's similar things being described, but they are different.
The highwayman went mad with rage.
Right, so now, yeah, so rather than having isn't it, he had a twinkle to begin with, didn't he? He rode with a jeweled twinkle. Yep, that is good. Jeweled twinkle has become mad rage. Good. So put that in quote. Yeah, so it's mad rage. Yeah, very good. What else is different? What do you notice about his coat this time now? You know, and compare that to the beginning.
It's red with blood.
Yeah, so we've got red, wine red was his velvet coat, whereas at the beginning, whoops, you know, it's described, isn't it? It's claret velvet. Now, there it seems very, very, you know, just it's very rich. But again, we can see that there's a hint there earlier on. Yeah, so. You know, his coat colour here now clearly signifies his blood. And then look at the lace as well now. You know, the lace, it's a bunch of lace at his throat compared to at the very beginning, there's a bunch of lace at his chin. What's different there? What's the significance? Oh, what is lace? Right, it's just a sort of fine material, yeah. And again, if you look at it in the picture, I think we've got a picture of it. Oh, you can't really see it there. I know what I can do. Hang on. Hang on.
So for me, your screen is just completely blank.
Yeah, don't worry. I'm getting a little picture for you.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Oops. Oops. There you go, Matteo. That's lace. Okay. Are you able to see that, Matteo? Yeah, that's it. Spot on. That's it. Yeah, that's similar to what I've just put in the OneNote. Now it should come through in a little minute. Now it says in the poem, doesn't it? Whereas before it was on his chin, now it's at his throat. The fact that it's kind of wrapped round his throat, what does that suggest?
He's been strangled.
Strangled.
What? Yeah, it's there, isn't it? And again, it's the throat. It's a more deadly image, isn't it? Yeah, good. Whereas before it was just sitting underneath his chin, you know, just again that idea, because it's his throat again, it just seems to signify, you know, that the fact that he's dead, you know, that he's passed away here. Okay. And then we have the ending, which is as a complete sort of repetition of the opening. Now, got a question for you. If I just sort of put it bigger again, we just work on the one note now here. If you think about this sort of world of literature, so we have here, you know, they're two ghosts together, aren't they? And they sort of, you know, on certain nights, you know, you can still hear this Highwayman coming up, and it's that idea that they meet as ghostly lovers, and kind of night after night. The end of that story, where they come together even after death, does that remind you of any other kind of characters that you know from the world of literature?
Harry Potter and Dumbledore.
No, really? I don't think so.
So, are we meant to be writing this down?
No, you don't have to, because I'm putting it onto the OneNote. So it'll all be shared with you, won't it? What I'm putting onto the OneNote here. So don't worry about that.
Okay,
so you've got a man and a woman, boy and a girl. They love each other. They both die for love. Does that remind you of anyone? Who else died for love? Who else sacrificed their lives for love? Even though they're kept apart from each other. Give you a clue. Shakespeare wrote a play about them.
Romeo and Juliet.
Yay! And again, we can think of that as any kind of pair of sort of parted lovers, aren't we? I mean, in a way, this poem is as much a love story as it is a sort of story about, you know, the highwayman and Bess being killed by these terrible, these terrible soldiers, that sort of idea. Now, early on in the poem, we get given a clue, because we've got the coat of claret velvet. Suddenly, you know, when we have it at the end, that suddenly begins to sort of foretell maybe a little bit of what's going to happen here, isn't it? You know, the fact, you know, we've got all this red going throughout this poem here, but we can see now with this description of his coat that this might be a sign that he's doomed to die. And what we can call that, and I don't think you'll have heard of this term before. I'll just put this in my own colour. You know, to begin with, you know, it starts off in this sort of very sort of happy, you know, jolly kind of, you know, bouncy rhythm here that we've got, and so it seems to be, you know, a kind of happy-go-lucky bard here, telling the tale of this highwayman and Bess, the two people that are in love with each other. But as once we get to the end and we get that repetition of his the colour of his coat, you know, we can see that coat of claret velvet is going to be important, because it kind of can symbolises his blood, but also it can symbolise the red coats as well, can't it? Oops. You know, we've got the, you know, the colour of the red, the soldiers' coats as well, and there's lots of red, isn't there? We've got the dark red love knot in her hair as well, contrasting against the blackness of her hair. All those sort of things. A bit of symbolism going on here. But if we do that, if we hint at something that is going to happen later on, be it in a novel, be it in a story, be it in a ballad like this, what we can talk about is calling it foreshadowing, is the phrase that we use there, because it's that hint of things that have yet to happen within the tale. Okay, good. Now, so Isla, did that happen? What you expected to happen? Is this the poem that you've done before?
No.
No. Oh, right. So nobody's come across this poem before. Ah, right. So hopefully now you've seen that here, ballad, as I say, it's a narrative poem. So what we've got here is this story between the Highwayman and Bess, and how they both meet their death, and it's done in that sort of traditional ballad format. And it is that's what ballads were used for initially, you know, to entertain and to tell a really good story. Okay, so I want you to do a little bit of work for me now. Where are we for time? That's 12:15. Right, so I'm going to give you 15 minutes to do this. That'll take us nicely to 12:30. So obviously the name of the ballad, you can pop in there. That's the Highwayman. Or sorry, you can put it up there. And then also just jot down, you know, what the poem is about. You know, a couple of sentences will do there. Don't try to sort of what do we call it? You know, give a blow account. It's just that sort of short version of what the ballad's about. Okay, and again, it can be you decide what you think this is all about. Is it about love? Is it about death? Which is it? Because you get both happening in there. What do you notice about the use of rhythm? Are there certain words, phrases, lines repeated? What does that do for the pace of the ballad? When you think about it, you've got the horse. It says the highwayman came riding up to the old inn door. You know, think about how that adds movement, pace, yeah, to the poem. Again, you got it. You know, later on, you got the of the horse as it's coming up. Think about what that does to the pace of the poem. Do you have certain words, phrases, that have lines that are repeated? Pick out just a couple of examples, 2-3 examples will be fine there of the repetition. Do you see any significance moving on there? Is there a pattern to these repetitions? Why do you think that might be the case? Okay, and again, similarly, is there a pattern with the rhyming of words? And if you can see what that pattern is, describe what it is and where that rhyming occurs. And lastly, verses, stanzas. Is it written as one long piece or is it broken up? How many lines in each stanza? Is it a regular pattern throughout, or do the verse lengths vary? Those sorts of things. That's just to take you through those sort of technical aspects of the poem. It's basically touching upon all the things that we have been discussing here within this ballad. Okay, are you all okay in what I want you to do now? And it might not work that you can write it in here. So obviously you can just write it on the OneNote. So you might just want to put ballad name. It might be easier doing it that way. You then just put in Highwayman, that sort of thing. So don't feel that you've got to write it onto the actual prompt sheet itself. I just wanted the prompt sheet there to give you the questions that I wanted to direct you to. Okay.
So what do we do at
1/2 past? I'll begin to ask you for some feedback at 1/2 past. That'll just take us up to lunchtime. Okay. I just want to see what ideas you've managed to get from that. Anybody who gets a little bit stuck, just message me either on the chat function here or in Teams, whichever way you want to do it, and I'll respond to you. I'll put myself onto mute so I don't disturb you and don't get any of my background noise filtering through. Okay, and it probably makes sense. I say, if you just stay on the lesson at the moment,
Sir, you're muted.
Sir, you're mute.
Oops. I was just saying, sorry, it's 12:18 now, and I'll give you to 12:32 to do that. Okay. Okay, so off you go and work on that task now. Okay, for me?
Sir,
Yes, Matteo.
is it a tragic love story?
It is, isn't it? I mean, and if that's what you think it is, yeah, that's what it is. Although others people might just see it as something else, but obviously because you've got that love interest in it and you've got the ghosts coming back at the end, that's a perfect way to describe it. Okay, but if you respond to those prompts now for me in the next sort of 15 minutes or so, okay?
Sir,
Yes.
I'm stuck on the first box because I'm confused because I thought it was all just one big story.
It is one big story, yeah. So you look at, are you talking about what the poem's about?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
subject.
So I mean, overall, I mean, if you were to meet somebody who hadn't come across this poem before, and you said, "Oh, I just done this really interesting poem, this ballad we just did in English today," and you to sum it up, let's say in 2 sentences, how would you describe it so that they get an idea of what that poem is about?
Okay. Why is there 3 boxes then?
Oh, because there's different ballads. We'll be looking at different ballads.
Okay.
And so you get that. That's that's let's say like ballad 1, ballad 2, ballad 3.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so you need to sort of do each of these ones once. That sort of thing. You don't have to go across and do it 3 times. It's just down that. It's one sort of column because we'll be looking at different ballads. Okay, so do you know what to do now? Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
So when we're saying that there's like plenty of repetition or rhyming in it, do we have to put like the quotes?
Yeah, if you I mean, if you could just just give a couple. I mean, again, pick out the ones, and again, ones that you think are really important. You know, that you think, oh, that's significant within that part of the ballad. So again, it's what you think it's been done for a reason.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
How do we describe the pace of the ballad?
Well, again, think of it just in really simple terms. Does it speed up? Does it slow down? That sort of thing, or is it at one pace throughout? And then again, think about a story as well. A story at some point goes quicker, doesn't it, when it's getting to bits of tension, bits of drama. But then we also need bits where it will actually have a bit of time for you to breathe almost within it. So where do you see that happening within this ballad? Because obviously nothing can go at the one pace, because otherwise it would be boring. If it was too fast all the time, you wouldn't be able to sort of pause for breath. Similarly, if it just goes kind of slowly, you're going to get bored to death. So what do you notice about various aspects of this ballad? What I'm asking you to sort of try and identify really is, where does it speed up, and where does that sort of slowness take place, where you're allowed to have a bit of a bit of a breather almost? Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So you're on mute if you're talking to us.
You'd think I'd remember by now. Right, so yeah, just going to get a couple of ideas from you all before we break for lunch here. So the first one here, with what the Highwayman is about, I'll come to you by name and do it that way. I just want you to try and sum up, let's say, in a sentence, how you would describe this ballad, what it's about. Okay, so if I could ask you first, Isla, how would you describe the ballad, the Highwayman? What is it about for you? What do you think?
A romantic crimes poem slash
Right.
story.
Yeah, okay. Good. That's a good way to do it. Yeah, I like that. Okay. Ethan, what have you put down? What do you think the Highwayman's about? How would you describe it?
It's set in old times.
Sorry?
It's set in old times.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So we can think about it being almost like a historical tale sort of thing. Well, what about you? How would you describe this to a friend?
I describe it to be very traumatic, but at the same time quite cool, because it's a cool concept.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think's cool about it?
I think the scene that there's this cool highwayman, because nowadays you don't really hear about highwaymen because they were a long time ago. So it's nice listening to all about the highwayman, about them.
Good. Okay. Thank you. Good. Like that. Evan, what about you? How have you described it?
A tragic love story where both lovers end up dying.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Daisy, what about you? How did you describe it?
The same as Evan's tragic love story.
Okay, thank you. And Shan, what about you?
The same as Daisy and Evan.
Okay, right, so we're getting to those same sorts of ideas. Okay, that's fine. Now, moving on then. This time then, with the use of rhythm, what I need you to just give me is certain words and phrases that you've noticed that have been repeated and used for effect within this poem. Okay, and if I could come back to you again, Shan, first, just to give you a chance this time. So what did you put down for that words, phrases that are used and repeated to give a certain pace to the ballad?
The moonlight.
Oh, right. So yeah. Oops. And what do you think that did to the pace, the mood of the poem?
I don't know, but it was like describing things in the moonlight.
Yeah. Now, if you think about the moonlight, how does it make you feel if you have images of the moonlight?
Quite nice.
Yeah, isn't it? It's a nice image. Anybody else want to pitch in there? If we think about the moon and moonlight, what sort of mood, tone does that give you?
Tranquil.
Romantic.
Oh yeah, yes. Good, thank you. Right, moving on. If I could now ask Aaron, what did you get for that rhythm section, the repeating of words and phrases?
He repeats the phrase moonlight quite a lot.
Yep, we've got that one. We've got the moonlight.
Oh, sorry.
That's the first one, Aaron. What else? Repeated quite a lot.
I couldn't really find any others, but they repeat Twinkle quite a lot.
Yes. Now, the rapier twinkling, the pistol butts twinkling. What does that do? What sort of mood pace does that give you? Aaron, back to you. What sort of pace, mood does that give you? Anybody else want to pitch in there then with a twinkle? What does that do?
Magical.
Oh, good. Yeah. Yeah, and that sort of idea of sort of shimmering, isn't it, and glittering, and as you say, that sort of magical tone that you got to it. Very good. Well, did you have any lines that you picked out as being repeated for an effect there?
I chose, let me just go to one note. I chose They Look for Me by Moonlight, black and bare in the moonlight, and blood off her veins in the moonlight. So Moonlight. Yeah,
so again, we're getting back to that moonlight, aren't we? Just to find out, obviously we've got the one. We've got the repetition of riding, that comes through quite a bit. Got to go to Daisy for that one. Keen horse rider that I know you are. That repetition of riding, what does that do to the pace and the mood of the poem?
It makes them sound like he's going faster.
Yeah, again, it makes it faster, doesn't it? And does it give you a sense of him actually on horseback, do you think, Daisy? Okay. So we've got that, and we began to pick that out and began to sort of think about the pace and the rhythm of this poem as well. And we'll discuss that in a little bit more tomorrow. I will have I'll have a little musical video to show you tomorrow as well, to get you into the idea of this Highwayman. And then I'm going to have a little writing task that we can nicely build into for tomorrow as well. Yes.
I'm still a bit stuck on the rhyme one.
Well, we'll discuss that one in the lesson tomorrow. So don't worry about that. Okay, and we'll go through the techniques that you can identify rhyme and how to work out if a poem's got rhyme in it or not. Okay, I'll do all that tomorrow. Okay, but I do believe now at 12:38 it is time for lunch. So thank you very much. That ends today's lesson, and I will see you all tomorrow.
Thank you.
Bye, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.